Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Welcome back to today's podcast. We're diving into procurement integrity. Sounds dry, but it's super important, right?
Absolutely. It's all about keeping the government's acquisition process transparent and fair. So, what exactly is procurement integrity, and why should we care?
Well, procurement integrity ensures that when the government buys goods or services, everything is done fairly. It's about safeguarding both contractors and the public from unfair advantages or corruption. Plus, there are strict penalties if things go wrong.
Yeah, and it's not just about doing the right thing. There are consequences like contract cancellations, fines, or even criminal charges for misusing or leaking procurement info.
That's why protecting procurement information is so key. There are two types to be aware of: proposal or quote information, and source selection information. Both need to be kept confidential.
Right. Proposal or quote information includes stuff like technical solutions, staffing plans, and cost data. It's a contractor's secret sauce for their bid, and it must stay locked down.
Then there's source selection info, which is the government's internal documents, like evaluation plans, price evaluations, or performance work statements that help decide who wins the contract.
Exactly. Disclosing either of these by mistake. Big trouble. So, what happens if you get access to this info and let it slip?
Well, the Procurement Integrity Act says you can't knowingly share this kind of information. That goes for both federal employees and contractors. And if you do, you could face fines or worse.
And it's not just about not sharing. You also can't knowingly receive this sensitive info. So, no using inside knowledge to get an unfair edge.
And then, of course, there's the whole issue of conflicts of interest, COIs. This can happen when your personal or financial interests influence your decision-making.
Yep, financial COIs are the most obvious. If your spouse or a business partner is involved with a company bidding on the contract, you've got to disclose it.
Exactly. But there are personal and organizational COIs too. It's all about transparency. If there's even a potential conflict, it's better to disclose than risk later consequences.
Absolutely. But disclosure isn't enough. If a COI is found, you might need to step away from that procurement process entirely to keep things fair.
That's where things like non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, come into play. These must be signed by anyone involved in the technical evaluation board to make sure there are no conflicts of interest clouding their judgment.
And don't forget post-employment rules. If you worked on a contract over $10 million, you can't take a job with that contractor for at least a year.
Yeah, those post-employment restrictions are huge, and they're not just about looking out for individual fairness. They're about maintaining the integrity of the system as a whole.
So, let's say all this is in place, and everything goes smoothly. Why should we still care about procurement integrity? What could go wrong?
Well, even if you follow all the rules, there's always the possibility of a protest. A protest is basically an official complaint from someone who wasn't awarded the contract, claiming the process wasn't fair.
Oh yeah. Protests can happen pre-award, when the solicitation's a mess, or post-award, if the evaluation process was flawed. Either way, it delays the project and takes resources away from other work.
That's why documentation is key. You've got to document everything, even your reasoning, because anything can be scrutinized later, especially if a protest happens.
And I mean everything. Not just the decisions, but why you made them and any assumptions you had. Otherwise, you risk creating ambiguity that could be challenged.
To sum it up, protect procurement info, keep a strict boundary of who knows what, and always, always disclose potential conflicts. That's the foundation of integrity in procurement.
Exactly. Follow the laws, stick to your word, and keep communication tight. If you're unsure, always ask your contracting officer.
And remember, we all have a role in keeping the procurement process fair and transparent. If you're in doubt, reach out and ask for clarification.
Well said. That's a wrap for today. Thanks for joining us, and as always, keep the integrity on.
Thanks for watching. I'm Nancy, your AI avatar. If you like this podcast, you can get one for yourself based on a website, YouTube video, or any source. Contact me to get a customized quote for your content. See you soon.